Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today it's Game 3 of this weekend series. The first-place Cincinnati Reds are trying to sweep the Houston Astros. Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. Wandy Rodriguez has other ideas as he tries to beat Mike Leake today, JD.
And Wandy Rodriguez doing a nice job turning his season around. Really struggling through the first couple of months of the season, but lately has been very good, winning 4 of his last 5 decisions. He's up against the young right-hander Mike Leake. As we look at the numbers, Wandy's 7-11 for the season with an ERA of 5.11. Leake, one of the crop of really talented youngsters in the league right now. He's 7-1, ERA of 3.45. Pitched once in this ballpark this year, 7 innings, 1 run allowed.
Coming up from Minute Maid on Family Day, the Astros were blanked last night. They try to get the bats revved up again today and beat Mike Leake and the Reds in just a moment. F-150 by Jack in the Box and by the Progressive Insurance Group. Well, the players and their families had all kinds of fun on the field on Family Day, frolicking around. And now it's time for business. Cincinnati and Houston meeting for the 3rd time this weekend. And the Reds have won 16 of their last 18 games against the Astros. Here's a look at Dusty Baker's starting lineup. It begins with Brandon Phillips at second base. He's followed by shortstop Orlando Cabrera, who's had a big series. Joey Votto is a Triple Crown contender in the National League. He's the first baseman. Johnny Gomes is in left field, cleaning it up. With Chris Heisey getting his first start in right field, he hit a pinch homer last night. Miguel Cairo's at third for the injured Scott Rowland out with a right hamstring strain. It's Drew Stubbs in center field. Ryan Hannigan the catcher. Mike Leake the pitcher.
Starting pitchers brought to you by Suzuki. It's left-hander Wandy Rodriguez. You see he's really turned his season around. 4-1, 281 in his last 5 ball games lifetime against the Reds. 6-7, 452. He's worked against them just once this year. Keep an eye on Johnny Gomes, a 462 lifetime hitter against Wandy. And defensively, the Astros have Leaborn and Pence covering the pasture. Anderson Hernandez gets his first start for the Astros. He'll be playing short today alongside Johnson. Kepinger's the second sacker. Lance is at first. Jason Castro behind the dish. He's charged with putting down the proper numbers.
All-star Brandon Phillips leads it off. There's the first start as an Astro for Anderson Hernandez. He's been mostly a shortstop, but also has played second base. And he gets the call at that position with Phillips ready to lead it off. He is second in the league in runs scored with 70. He is sporting a .287 batting average with 13 homers. He's driven in 33. Has a couple of hits in this series. They both came last night. Showing bunt. Wandy Rodriguez throwing, and it's ball one to Phillips, who's third in the league in hits with 115.
7 out of 29 in his career against Wandy. That's a .241 batting average. A piece of cheese right by him.
Yes, he did.
Roy started the game last night pounding fastballs in on Brandon Phillips. And they had success early against him. He got a couple hits later in the ball game. Yeah, just malicious intentions with that swing.
Yes,
trying to lift that fastball.
Got one of the biggest bat waggles we've seen, side to side. He really works that thing. And fouls that one for a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Yeah, quick pitch him. Catch him mid-waggle and he won't be ready to hit.
Little guy looks perplexed.
Yeah, I don't care.
He
it's just a
doesn't
ball.
want. Wait a minute! I stretched all that way for you. Now you don't want it.
I got a bunch of those at home. You just said it's foul. It's foul, Dad. I don't want a foul ball. That foul thing out of here.
Fair is foul. Foul is fair. And the hot dog is of more importance right now. And the pretzel. They're more into eating than they are collecting balls right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Too early to worry about that stuff. And it's out of play. For Wandy, a 6-7 career record against Cincinnati, a 4.52 ERA. He faces the hot hitting club, which leads the league in runs. And lately, he has had 7 innings and 1 earned run against Pittsburgh, 6-3 against St. Louis, 6-5 in a win against the Cubs Monday. He gave up 8 hits in those 6 innings and won it 11-5.
Yeah, he was really good early in that game, and that was the important part because the Astros broke out in a big way offensively. So even though he ended up allowing 5 runs, it was a pretty comfortable W.
It's out toward right center field. There's a big gap there, but Hunter Pence closes it. 1 out. The Rockets' first-round draft choice, Patrick Patterson, threw out the first pitch. From Kentucky, 14th overall pick. Throwing ball 1. And Patty?
Well, I actually had a chance to talk to Patrick as he was throwing out that first pitch, and I'm going to go up and visit with him in the 4th inning, so stick around for that.
We look forward to it. Have a chance to meet him. Orlando Cabrera on a 4-game hitting streak. Looks at strike 1. Jerry Lane's a home plate umpire. 261 for Cabrera. 3 homers, 35 driven in, and a big series, 5 for 10 for Cabrera.
It must be NBA week around Major League Baseball. I saw the Cubs game yesterday. They had a basketball player throw out the first pitch.
Okay.
Kyle Korver. Sound right?
Couldn't tell you. Bill says yes, it does sound right to him. Cabrera on the curveball was fooled. It's no balls, 2 strikes to the 35-year-old veteran. Oh, 1-2 for Wandy Rodriguez, shooting for win number 8 of the season. Reds a tough team to contain right now. They're second in on-base average. They lead the league in slugging. And they're a half game in front of St. Louis with a 55-44 record in the NL Central. In the air, and Lance Berkman gets underneath. 2 outs for Wandy.
A real nice job of executing the game plan there. Threw that 2-strike fastball off the plate away, and then jammed him with a good heater moving up and in a little bit.
Joey Votto has 2 homers in 2 games in this series, and also 5 hits for the slugging first sacker. He connected off Bud Norris Friday night and off Roy Oswalt last night to take over the league lead with 25 long balls. He's driven in 67 runs with a .313 average. One to him.
Yeah, you might as well finish what you start there. He liked that fastball, he just wasn't ready to hit it.
Nope. He comes right back and throws ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Votto. He leads the league in on base average and slugging percentage right now.
Votto's one of those guys, and he's such a gifted hitter. Has great eye-hand coordination. He's the type of hitter, we've seen it a lot over the years. He'll have a real ugly swing in at bat, and then he'll take the same pitch and hit a bullet with it. Almost like he was setting you up.
Well, he hit that opposite field home run last night. A 2-run shot in the first off Roy to the Landry's Crawford boxes. 7 for 22 in his career against Wandy.
And I don't think it's a case that he's trying to set a pitcher up, but I think a smart hitter just realizes if you take an ugly hack, there's a chance the pitcher's going to go back there.
Votto came through with an 8th inning single off lefty Tim Burdack in the opener Friday night as the Reds snapped a 4-4 tie, and he scored the go-ahead run on a double by Jay Bruce. Johnny Gomes would be next. Soft liner out into center. Michael Bourne comes in, and it's a hit in front of him. Votto takes a big turn on a 2-out single by Joey, giving him a 5-game hitting streak.
Very similar to one of the base hits he had last night. Again, that's just that great eye-hand coordination, going down and getting that breaking pitch. This is Rod Carew. It's great hands.
He's aboard for the slugging left fielder Johnny Gomes. Bourne blocked that one, kept it close, so Votto held on with a single. Gomes with 64 runs batted in, has 13 long balls. He gets a fastball for strike one with a .274 batting average. Gomes 1 for 4 in the opener of this series, scoring 2 runs Friday night. Last night Lance Nix got the call, and he had a big night in left field. 3 hits and a walk. Little roller, broken bat. Anderson Hernandez, quick throw to first. Nice play. No runs ahead, a man left, no score. Center field, Anderson Hernandez shortstop, Lance Berkman first base, Hunter Pence right field, Carlos Lee left field, Jeff Keppinger second base, Chris Johnson third base, Jason Castro catcher, Wandy Rodriguez pitcher. Mike Leake throws ball 1 to Michael Bourne. 249 for Michael. 1 homer, 22 runs batted in. And Leake is very good at hitting corners. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bourne. 0 for 5 in this series. Leake works quickly. He is a tremendous athlete. Very good hitter. 2 balls and a strike. A lot to like about this 22-year-old right-hander from Arizona State. Line to right. A hit from Michael Bourne to lead it off in the Astros first.
And the thing you hear over and over again from the Reds people is that Leake pitches beyond his years. Very composed out there on the mound. Nothing seems to rattle him. Bourne will try to do that. He's been doing that all year long as he reaches base against opposing pitchers. There's the Suzuki scouting report on Mike Leake. We'll take a look at where he ranks among National League rookies. 2nd in wins, 4th in ERA, 1st in innings pitched. And among the starting pitchers who've worked any number of innings, his ERA is 2nd best.
Jerry Lane comes out and apparently says something to Mike Leake.
Going to lose the band.
The Live Strong bracelet has to go. It's a very good cause, but there are rules. Anderson Hernandez is looking for his first hit as an Astro. He's 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Michael started and stopped, and there's ball 1. Bourne leads the league with 29 steals in 37 tries. Hernandez looking at Dave Clark. 245 in his career, 4 homers, 59 runs batted in for Anderson. From the Dominican Republic. Played behind Jose Reyes of the Mets. And of course, he's learned to play second base as well, but he did come up playing shortstop, he said. 2-0 now, and Dave Clark has a further series of signs.
Traded from the Tigers to the Mets for catcher Vance Wilson. And we saw Hernandez a little bit with the Mets. Outstanding hands. He throws well. Very good defensive player.
Switch hitter better from this side of the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Anderson last year had 366 at-bats for Washington and New York. A lot of playing time. Brad Mills likes to put people who just joined the ball club into the action in the first few days they arrive. 2-1's a good running count. Let's see if the Astros might have Bourne running. Probably up to him.
Right, and if that's the case, then he probably won't be going because Leake is very quick to home plate. Michael pays attention to that clock, as all base stealers do. Take a look at the rest of the Reds defensively. Heisey gets a start. He's a good-looking player, but he hasn't had a chance to play that much. Stubbs and Gomes round out the outfield picture. Scott Rowland's still banged up, so Cairo gets another start at third. It's a pretty good catching tandem they have now here with Hernandez and Hannigan.
It really is. They have a lot of things on their team that are very desirable right now. Bourne 29 of 37. Hannigan's thrown out 6 of 20. Leake has allowed only 4 steals in 7 attempts. Bourne started and stopped, and there's the foul ball. Leake was a first-round pick in 09, the 8th player drafted. Signed in August of last year for $2.27 million. After going 16-1 at Arizona State with a 1.71 ERA. And then jumped straight to the major leagues this year. 21st player to make his pro debut in the majors. Chopper over the mound. There's one. And a double play for Cabrera and Votto.
Well, that's why it's so important, if you're able, to hold base runners quick to the plate. Michael Bourne not seizing an opportunity. Didn't feel like he could steal a base, so the double play's in order. And Leake gets the ground ball and 2 quick outs. It's not just that play, that pitch that got it done. It was his quick delivery to home in the previous pitches that had Michael Bourne stuck at first.
This is the 3rd time Leake has faced the Astros this year. He Got a win here in Houston against Felipe Paulino in April, and a no decision in Cincinnati against Paulino. Lance Berkman faces him now. Strike to Lance. 239 for Lance. 12 homers, 44 runs batted in. 1 for 7 in this series. He's 6th in the league in walks with 56. It's 1-1.
You talked about Leake being a good athlete. He's old school. He played everything. He was a midfielder in soccer. He was the point guard on the basketball team. He punted and kicked for the football team.
Out to the second. He's a pretty good pitcher, too. No runs a hit, nobody left. No score. First pitch bunted by Chris Heisey right to Lance Berkman. He bunted it too hard to get on. And Heisey, who hit his 4th pinch homer of the year last night, is out number 1 on 1 pitch here in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, probably trying to direct that ball out towards second base. A little bit of a misfire. And boy, you love that as a pitcher. First pitch, a guy just pushed a little bunt to the first sacker. And you're like, thank you very much.
That's an easy one. The guy can knock it out of the park. Miguel Cairo, subbing for the injured Scott Rowland, has been playing well. There's strike 1 to Cairo and hitting .305 with 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. .371 on base average. Good glove man. Nice guy in the clubhouse. He's been around a long time. What else do you like about him?
He's good in the room, huh? He's a friendly fellow.
That's right.
Treats everybody with a smile.
A lot of guys are good in that Reds clubhouse this year. The way they've been playing.
That's amazing how that works out. First place club. Boy, they've got good chemistry.
Yeah.
You think?
And they didn't have to go to the lab to cook it up. Dr. Baker did not have to manufacture this chemistry. He's got a very good ball club. Rowland is missing his 9th straight game with a right hamstring strain. The Reds thought that perhaps playing him today and then traveling was not a good idea. His back might stiffen up, so they'll give him another day at least. And they really don't need to play him right now. They need him rested and back healthy again for the long haul. Cairo's down on strikes. Let's go to Patty Smith.
Well, it's time now for our Chevy at the Ballpark, and we'd like to recognize Parkway Chevrolet for their support of the Tomball Little League. For more information on Chevy's commitment to Youth League baseball programs, visit ChevyTexasBaseball.com. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. We're still waiting for that interview. We know that in good time you'll have it for us.
4th inning, I'll be there.
4th inning. Drew Stubbs, the batter. Fly ball, right field, Hunter Pence.
That was quick.
6 pitches quick. No score in the second. inning. Pence, Lee, and Keppinger against Mike Leake. Hunter Pence has been on a surge recently. That is strike one to a 268 hitter with 14 homers, 47 driven in. Hunter 5 for 9 in this series, including a long ball. He had a big night Friday night. Hunter was 4 for 5 with a homer and drove in 3 in that game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Leake signed in August of last year as the 8th player drafted. We would expect some signings coming up here probably in the next couple of weeks among the top picks from this year's draft.
Somebody's got to step up and go first so the rest of the guys can figure out what the money's all about and then go from there.
Liner left, Hunter Pence reaches at Landry's. Crawford boxing. Home run number 15.
It's the 3rd home run that Mike Leake has allowed to a right-handed batter this year. Well, that little guy got upset by the fireworks and the train and all the noise, all the commotion out there. Either that or he wanted the ball and he didn't get it. But the Astros have a 1-0 lead thanks to this swing right here. Two-seamer trying to throw a little backdoor fastball over that outside corner, and it drifted over the plate and then drifted over the wall.
Yes, it did. Good look at it. 15th homer, and that's his 4th against Reds pitching this year. Carlos Lee takes another one. Well, Hunter now has hit 11 career home runs against Cincinnati. Gives the Astros the early lead of 1-0. That's been a great comeback team this year. Heisey in right. Handles Lee's fly ball. 1 down.
Join the Astros for Faith and Family Night next Saturday. That's the 31st of July. 6:05 game against the Brewers, and afterwards a testimony by Lance Berkman and a concert with Jars of Clay. Tickets start at just $7, and they can be had at Astros.com.
The Astros have already equaled their best output against Mike Leake from his first 2 starts. Gave up 1 run in 7 innings here. Back on the 28th of April. Jeff Keppinger, the former Red, takes strike 1. 4 homers, 34 runs batted in, a 284 average for Jeff, and he has a couple of hits in this series. Wow. That looked pretty good.
Yeah. Well, Jerry Lane is generally a hitter's umpire. Pretty tight zone. And we'll be keeping an eye on it with the pitch tracker, and Jexa Energy provides that for us. Somebody from the Reds dugout is carping out at Jerry Lane a little bit. Come on, big fella, those balls are good.
Keppinger looks at a breaking pitch, and you saw his glittering 4 for 5 performance against Leake. Last time he faced the Astros in Cincinnati in that 10-inning Houston win. On May 30th, he had 3 double plays in the first 3 innings. Now he has a walk. Keppinger takes his 31st of the year.
You know, Leake likes to throw that sinker, and the one that was called a ball that was on the plate. It looked like it was a strike, but Lane called it down. It'll be interesting to see if Leake tries to abandon that and starts to try to work the outside corner. You know, maybe willing to elevate it, but throwing off the plate away a little bit.
Well, he took a little walk behind the mound, then he knocked on the right side of his head. And now he's facing Chris Johnson. 318 for Chris, 2 homers, 16 driven in, 3 hits in the series. And that's strike 1 to Chris. He's on an 8-game hitting streak, the longest of his career. 2 homers and 8 runs batted in, and a .414 average during the 8-game streak. In tight, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Chris. Last night a rough night for the Astros hitters. They managed only 4 hits off Johnny Cueto and Jordan Smith. Johnson had 2 of those 4 hits. Ball makes it a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Chris. In back-to-back games Monday and Tuesday in Chicago. A very good week for him. Mike Leake, one of the young guns, 4 members of the current Red starting rotation, age 27 and younger. Fly ball to center. Dubs. 2 outs.
Well, the oldest starting pitcher the Astros faced this weekend was Johnny Cueto. He's 24. He pitched yesterday's game. Travis Wood, 22 years of age, pitched the opener on Friday.
The other guys, of course, they have Aaron Harangas on the DL, Bronson Royal. They're both veterans, but they've had Sam LeCure, who flew here in case he was needed this weekend. That wasn't because Cueto was so good last night. LeCure's 25. He started. Matt Maloney's 26. Homer Bailey's 24. They've all made starts for the Reds. Jason Castro, the batter now. Ball 1 to Castro, a 167 hitter with 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in. Jason 0 for 3 in last night's game. It's off the sinker and it's 2-0.
It's going to be interesting to watch this develop. If Leake gets rattled with Jerry Lane's tight zone, and if he starts to give in and starts to elevate, and this is what makes Jason Castro a promising young hitter. He's very disciplined. He'll lay off that pitch and force the pitcher into his zone. And Jason, pretty good middle in and down. Looks to me like he's going to be a good low ball hitter. Like a lot of big lefties who really drop the head on a low fastball and pull it in with authority.
That's a strike, and it's 3-1 with Wandy Rodriguez on deck. The Chicago Cubs come in tomorrow night to open a 3-game series. It'll be Wesley Wright and Carlos Silva tomorrow night at 7:05. That's a walk to Castro. Runners at first and second for Wandy Rodriguez.
Cubs looking to sweep the Cardinals. They play tonight. Carpenter's going for the Cardinals. I'm sure who the Cubbies are featuring. And look at the probables for our series with the Cubs. Silva, Lily, Wells.
Dexter tonight for Chicago. Ryan Price gets rave reviews for his work with this Reds pitching staff. Staff ERA isn't much to write home about. 4.13, 11th best in the league, but has promise of getting much better with the young talent they have, and they really like the bullpen performances lately of Jordan Smith, who pitched last night, and Logan Andrusek, who got his first major league win Friday night.
And the ERA in July has been much better. And considering the ballpark they play in, that 4.13, you can kind of adjust that, and it's going to be, league average, maybe a little better.
Wandy Rodriguez with strike 1 carries a nice batting average to the plate. 286, 10 hits, and he's driven in 2 runs. He has a double among his 10 hits. Certainly not the batting average of Mike Leake, but Wandy had 2 hits in his last start at Chicago, and had some good swings lately. Bounces this one though to Joey Votto to end the second. And Hunter Pence's 15th home run of the year at 48th run batted in ties him with Carlos Lee in the RBI department for the club lead and gives the Astros a 1-0 lead.
This date in Astros history is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. 5 years ago today, Craig Biggio and Lance Berkman hit back-to-back homers twice in the same game. Imagine that. That's just incredible. That was the first time that had happened in franchise history. First and third innings off of Corey Lytle and a win in Philadelphia.
Wandy Rodriguez leads it 1-0, facing catcher Ryan Hannigan. Hannigan looks at strike one. 313 for Hannigan. 2 homers, 19 runs batted in. He was 1 for 4 and drove in 2 runs Friday night. Last night, Ramon Hernandez did the catching, and he had a homer and 2 runs batted in. 1 ball, 1 strike with Mike Leake on deck, and then the leadoff man, Brandon Phillips, is due up third. Reds have hit .326 against Houston pitching this year. That's a strike, and it's 1-2. They've outscored the Astros 56-23. Dusty Baker's club has won 7 and lost 1 against Houston, and 5-0 here at Minute Maid Park.
Probably getting a little agitated over in that Reds dugout because a couple of these pitches Wandy has thrown have been called strikes. Leake couldn't get called.
Liner to Berkman.
Pretty good 2-strike swing here. Lance well positioned to snare that line drive. Way off the line for Hannigan, and it paid off.
Now the leading hitter among all National League pitchers, Mike Leake, .385. He has 2 runs batted in. He has 15 hits, 39 at bats. Ball 1 to Leake. He's had 2 hit games against the Cubs in Atlanta and Washington, and a 3-hit game at Philadelphia. It's 2-0 to Leake, who was the first Reds pitcher with 4 multi-hit games in a season since Jose Rijo in '93.
So whereas most pitchers are taking here, he might be swinging.
Ooh, yeah, he's swinging. And they're getting up, but that ball is working its way foul.
Man, yeah, see, that's just about any other pitcher, 2-0, you feel like it's a freebie. You just pump one in there to get back into the count. But the Leake with the green light put a good swing on it. Jason Castro quickly adjusting, slipping over that outside corner for the next fastball. And we're not going to be quite as generous here.
3-1 for Wandy Rodriguez. And Leake fouls it away. A full count to Mike. Reds have hit 15 homers against the Astros this year in 8 games. Reds had Gary Matthews Jr., the outfielder, under contract at Louisville, but he's now left. He had a window in his contract and opted out. The Reds did not promote him to the big leagues. .385 for Leake, better than Herron, better than Narveson.
Getting good swings at the fastball here. And this, if you're Wandy, you're getting a little bit of a bind out there because you're thinking, well, maybe I should throw him a little breaking pitch and probably be able to finish him off. But if he takes it and it's ball 4, then you're kicking yourself for walking the opposing pitcher. But this guy's, he's a different cat. He's a good hitter.
Curveball. That worked for strikeout number 2. A nice battle, though.
No, he's a legitimate hitter. He's not a pitcher who swings it pretty well. He's a real hitter. You can tell by the nature of his swings.
2 outs for Wandy. He's retired 6 in a row after the Votto single, and it's Brandon Phillips batting. Phillips, the fly ball to right field, leading off the game. Reds hitters are leading the league in hitting, runs, hits, grand slams, runs batted in, and slugging. A guy like Phillips, who could be more of an RBI guy, is leading off, and it's working quite well for them. Strike one on the curve.
Well, statistically, their second best hitter, Chris Heisey, can't crack the everyday lineup.
Yeah, they rave about Heisey. Well, back and it snowballs, 2 strikes. Very different makeup of the Reds roster in terms of age compared to the Cardinals roster. That's why it's going to be interesting to follow this race in the NL Central for the remaining 2 months. Dusty Baker's club spent a lot of time in first place, 51 days. And they're 11 games over. If they win today, they'll tie their season high, 12 games over 500. 1-2. That's why Walt Jocketty, the general manager, is said to be a little reluctant to make a huge deal. He really likes what he has in the clubhouse mix right now. He has reserves at AAA he can call upon. Keppinger to his left. Flips over to Berkman. The Reds are out in the 3rd inning, and that's 7 straight retired by Wandy Rodriguez. 1-0 Houston.
Promised Patrick Patterson the first-round draft choice by the Houston Rockets threw out the first pitch today. Welcome to the ballpark. Welcome to the city of Houston, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Some early impressions, just your thoughts of coming here and what you've seen since you've been here.
As far as Houston, I love the city. 4th largest city, a lot of stuff to do. Been over to the Galleria, love the mall there, love that area. I'm around in the Midtown area, so I love that area too. You know, I love the food here. I love the people. You know, they're eager to help me out. You know, I was walking around the city the other day and I got lost. People were eager to help me with directions. So in baseball, this is my very first baseball game I've been a part of, you know, especially at this level. And luckily the ball across the plate didn't go in the dirt, and I'm definitely proud of that.
Yeah, you did a nice job. How about the Houston Rockets? I know you've been getting out there a little bit in Summer League. Just your early impressions of this team.
I love the team. I love the people. I love the coaching staff. Chuck Hayes, former Wildcat, someone I definitely look up to, someone I definitely admire. You know, he's helping me out a lot. And Jordan Hill, Chase Budinger, Yao Ming, Scola, list goes on and on. Jermaine Taylor. They're a bunch of great guys, and they've definitely helped me out along the way, and I look forward to stepping on the court with them.
Well, expectations are high for the Houston Rockets, and you mentioned Wildcats. You came out of Kentucky a year early, but actually graduated. Pretty impressive, and I want to say congratulations for that, and I know that's something that meant a lot to you.
Thank you. It definitely meant a lot to me to be able to graduate in 3 years and get my degree before I left. Not a lot of people get the degree, especially in 3 years, so that's probably my most proudest achievement that I've accomplished.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you this season, and thank you again. You are our progressive fan of the game, and I'm sure you'll have many Houston fans to follow you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Patty. Michael Bourne got the infield hit. Now he's drawing some attention from Mike Leake, who got a glove on that grounder and then deflected it over toward the third baseman, Cairo. But Bourne beat it out. So Bourne's 2 for 2. That's his 22nd infield hit of the year. And And he was erased on a double play ball by Anderson Hernandez. Now he's running. This ball in the air to Drew Stubbs right. And it's caught by the left fielder Johnny Gomes. 1 out. But Bourne was running on that pitch.
And may have been a little hit and run play there. Leak, as we talked about, tough to run on. So after grounding into the double play last time, maybe Brad Mills thinking about starting a base runner and trying to create some holes. I like this Patterson kid, graduating from Kentucky in 3 years while playing basketball there.
Something else. When have you heard of that happen?
That's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. Welcome to Houston Patrick. Lance Berkman bounced down in the first inning. He has had just tremendous career numbers against the Reds. Bourne takes off. Big jump. Hannigan's throw bounces and he steals it easily. Number 30 for Michael Bourne.
Great steal here. There's the break. Almost clipped Leak with that throw.
Yeah.
And that's what happens too with Bourne's speed. The catcher's obviously fully aware of that. So there's a tendency to rush and get out of whack with the mechanics.
Pitch was ball.
Cabrera trying to deke him. Michael, come on, man. I'm not going to fall for that.
Berkman grounds. Joey Votto stays down with the ball. And Bourne to third on out number 2. For Hunter Pence now. Michael with 30 steals, has a 6-steal lead over Nigel Morgan. He stole 61 to lead the league last year.
Andrew McCutchen, he got hurt in that series against the Astros, diving for a ball in center field. He has not played since. Hurt his neck, jammed his shoulder a little bit.
Pence ripped a line drive homer in the second. On a 2-1 count, Carlos Lee's on deck. Strike 1 for Leak. Hunter sits safely now in 13 of his last 15 games. Since July 6th, he's hit 4 homers and driven in 11. One ball, 1 strike. Bourne holds on at third base. Good stop by Hannigan. For Hunter. One runs in on him, and he is really one of those guys you can tell he commands pitching the way he puts the ball in and out. JD
draws comparisons to Greg Maddux, similar in stature. I mean, physical stature. Very few are similar in stature to Maddux as a pitcher.
That's in for strike 3 call, and it's no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left at third base, 1-0 Astros after 3. 1-0 Houston on a Hunter Pence homer. Wandy Rodriguez works the 4th inning. Orlando Cabrera looks at strike one. He popped to first in the 1st inning. Wandy's retired 7 in a row after the 2-out single by Joey Votto in the 1st. Curveball off the plate, evens the count at 1-1. Big day in baseball with the Hall of Fame induction at Cooperstown.
The Hawk, the Rat, and the Deity all being enshrined today.
Yeah.
Andre Dawson, the Hawk, Whitey Herzog, the Rat, and Doug Harvey, who the players just referred to as God, longtime umpire. Let me tell you, son, missed it by that much. Missed that outside corner by 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah, Brad Mills was talking about that class, and he played some golf with Doug Harvey in California in the offseason. Doug not very far away from Brad. On appeal to first base, there's the call, and it's a strikeout thanks to Hunter Wendelstedt's strike 3 call. 3rd strikeout for Wandy. Your league leaders is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, showing you the longest active hitting streaks against the Astros. Joey Votto had a hit in the 1st inning, so updating it, he now has a 14-game hitting streak against Houston, 1 more than Jorge Cantu, 2 more than Ryan Ludwig, who just came off the disabled list. Casey McGee also on that list. Votto single to center field and a good piece of hitting, and takes ball 1 there.
You can just tell by his body language that he's really trying to convince himself to stay in, keep that front shoulder closed. Good aggressive swing there.
Yes, it was. 1-1.
Whitey Herzog, a very colorful character, longtime manager. Great success with the Cardinals, of course. Whitey ball, they called it, and all that speed. He once said, baseball has been very good to me once I stopped playing. The managerial gig was a lot better than his playing career.
Pretty mediocre player. Backup outfielder. Played for the old Kansas City A's once upon a time.
A fairly simple philosophy that a lot of the good managers have adopted over the years. Be on time, work hard, have fun.
Dusty Baker is in the final year of his Cincinnati contract. This Reds club is making a pretty good salary drive push for him. His 3rd year with the Reds. Brad Mills was remembering fondly days with Andre Dawson in Montreal. Andre had 12 knee surgeries. His knees were so bad, when he came to the major leagues, doctors were telling him he might be able to play 4 years.
Well, I think a lot of the story of Andre Dawson, just ground ball first.
And it takes it to Berkman, 2 outs.
Well, first of all, let's take a look at next Saturday. Jeff Bagwell bobblehead will be given to the first 10,000 fans. That's courtesy of AT&T. After the game, it's a Faith and Family Nights. All kinds of good stuff going on next weekend. A concert with that game and at the Baggy bobblehead. But Dawson, I mean, to me, in terms of his performance, his statistics, probably borderline Hall of Famer. You can make a pretty good case that, but I think that the man, Andre Dawson, he commanded so much respect in the clubhouse and around the game. I think that's kind of what helped push him over the top.
Brad Mills spoke to that about being his teammate. He said if he did something that wasn't right with the culture of a player, he might come up to you and say, don't do that again. And he commanded such respect, and he did it so rarely and so quietly that players really listened to him.
Right. He wasn't one of these guys shooting his mouth off all the time. He was out there playing on those bad knees and packing him in ice after games. Still giving you everything he had. He could be pretty menacing from 60 feet, 6 inches away. And you step out there in that mound with that salad I used to flip up there, and you look at Dawson, you think, oh my goodness. If he hits this back at me, I'm going to be in the hospital for a month. It's going to hang him a change up here, and he'll be at 500 feet foul, and then we'll go from there.
3 balls, no strikes. What a tremendous outfield that was from Marty in left. Ellis Valentine in right, Dawson in center.
One time, what an arm he had.
Wandy shoots forward and misses. It's ball 4 to Johnny Gomes. First walk for Wandy. 9 Reds in a row had gone down.
Yeah, Doug Harvey would have told him that he missed it by 16 inches, the 16th of an inch. See Wandy going, wow, and he'd gotten that pitch earlier, and that's the frustrating thing. When you get it one time and then you don't get it the next, okay, now what do I do? Well, what you do is you keep going there. It's a good pitch whether they swing or not.
Chris Heisey, 25 years old, takes the breaking ball. He tried to butt his way on in the second and was retired by Berkman. Heisey, a 17th round pick in 06 from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Went to Messiah College. Last year he was the Reds minor league player of the year at AA Carolina and AAA Louisville, about half a season in each place.
Never heard of Messiah College.
No, I haven't either. I don't know where that is. Looks like everything's Pennsylvania with his background, so it may be in that state. He was described in one publication as a cheap 5-tool player, meaning perhaps that he has all 5 tools, but maybe not strong in each area. But that is the resume of a young man who may be bursting upon the scene here if he could just figure out a way to get in the lineup more often. With this Reds outfield, that's been difficult to do. And today, with Jay Bruce taking a seat against the lefty Wandy Rodriguez, that's when Heisey normally plays. Ball back, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Reds do have a strong bench. Not only do they have the good position players who play most of the time, but guys like Lance Nix, who had the big game last night, and Bruce is on the bench today too. Really good left-handed hitters with pop available today for Dusty Baker.
And if he wants to, he could pinch hit Mike Leake when he's not pitching, the way he swings the bat.
Yeah.
And I mentioned last time about Heisey statistically being their second best hitter. He's got the best slugging percentage, better than even Joey Votto now. His OPS second best on the team. Now that could be a little bit skewed in that, if he's getting a lot of his bats against lefties, or Dusty Baker's picking certain situations to use him, it's going to set up favorably for him. But nonetheless, he's got very good numbers.
Gomes draws a throw from Wandy. Mark Berry has signs from the third base coaching box. The Reds have come from behind to win 29 times this year. That's second in the majors. Another throw goes over. The Reds are 6th in stealing bases. Gomes doesn't try it very often. He's 2 out of 5. Jason Castro's throwing well.
Messiah College plays a Division III baseball.
Oh, okay. Now it's a full count to Heisey, and that means an automatic go for Johnny Gomes. Heisey last year, AA Carolina, hit .347 at a .572 slugging percentage, .278 at Louisville. They're going, and it's a swing and a foul ball. Heisey leads Reds pinch hitters in hits, 7 homers with 4. He's been on base in 12 of his last 21 pinch hit appearances. So while he bides his time, hoping for more starts, he's doing well off the bench. This is his 15th start of the year, and he started at all 3 outfield positions. Fouls it back. Getting up a battle here, 3-2 with Cairo on deck. Last start for Wandy against the Reds was awful. Gave up 8 earned runs. In 3 1/3 innings at Cincinnati in a 15-6 loss on May 28th. And he allowed homers to Brandon Phillips and Johnny Gomes in that game. In the air, foul. Castro comes over. Johnson makes the trip. Out of play.
Well, kind of snuck through some of those rafters overhead. Yeah, that outing against the Reds at the end of May, that was one of a number of rough ones there in the stretch from late May through the middle of June. He ran into some really good clubs. This Reds team gave up 8 against the Yankees, gave up 6 against the Rangers. And that was kind of the end of that real bad run. He's turned it around, gone 4-1 since then. Heisey can't complain about not having anything to swing at. Peppered that strike zone.
Curveball got him. Strikeout number 4 for Rodriguez. And in the middle of the 4th inning, it's 1-0 Houston. The Astros nursing a 1-0 lead, come up in the bottom of the 4th inning with Carlos Lee batting.
Baby is getting after it.
Yeah. Ball went to Carlos. He hit a fly ball to right first time up. This fly ball at the right field line. Here's Heisey over, diving, and it rolls to the wall. Lee will come in with a stand-up double, his 16th of the year.
Heisey gave it a good run, but this ball off of the bat of Carlos Lee continues to slice away from him into that right field corner. No harm in laying out there. You're so close to the wall anyway. No extra base gain for Carlos, with Heisey leaving his feet.
Now Jeff Keppinger will try to move him. Keppinger drew a walk in the 2nd inning. He's been hitting well in this 6th spot in the order. Leadoff double. The Astros would be thinking they should score here. Keppinger looks at ball 1, and he's had that selective approach.
You know, Leak doesn't want to throw him something away that he can hit to the right side, but sometimes the hitter will cross you up and look in that situation and spin on one. And one of the reasons Brad Mills has moved Keppinger down in the order is to give him more RBI opportunities.
This is his 5th consecutive game for Brad Mills, hitting 6th, and he's gone 6 for 16 so far. Fouls that one away, and it's 1-2 to Jeff Keppinger. Fernando Abad is spending his first day in the major leagues in the Astros bullpen. A lefty reliever just called up from Corpus Christi, Double-A today. Chris Sampson was optioned last night after the game to Round Rock. So the Astros have 3 lefties in the bullpen now.
Yeah, you know, and it's tough for a reliever when you're going through a bit of a rough stretch, and you'd like to try to work on something. But when you pitch an inning at a time, and if you're pitching in close games, it's very difficult to work on something. So I think it really could benefit Chris to go down to AAA in a more relaxed atmosphere. You know, the results don't matter that much. Start to play around with some things.
Keppinger's worked the count full. He's been taking a lot of pitches today. Walked on a 3-1 count earlier.
And that's the risk you run as a pitcher. If you try to pitch away from a certain part of the plate to prevent, a guy from hitting the ball to the right side, you can kind of lose track of what you're trying to do out there and end up walking it.
He walked it. Runners at first and second for Chris Johnson. Third walk for Leake. He walked 2 in the second inning. Keppinger and Castro. So disappointment for Chris Sampson going to Round Rock with a 5.93 ERA, but Fernando Abad all smiles after arriving from Corpus with good numbers in 39 2/3 innings and excellent command.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing about Abad. A left-hander who's throws a lot of strikes, not an overpowering guy.
All 1 to Johnson.
He's hurt a little bit earlier this year, so he hasn't pitched a lot of innings.
There's been a Mike Covich sighting in Philadelphia, scouting for the Tampa Bay Rays, possibly looking at Phillies right fielder Jason Worth. Seems that Worth is going to go somewhere, according to the strong rumor mill. 2 balls, no strikes. Phillies have a top prospect, outfielder Dominic Brown, who may be ready to be moved up to the big league club.
Yeah, he's tearing it up in the minor leagues. He's kind of the one guy that's been untouchable in trade discussions with the Phillies, from everything I've read and heard.
2 balls and a strike. Kind of makes you wonder, looking at the standings, if the Phillies would bother to make a major move. Not that they should be giving up on anything. Dropping back.
He's going to make a play for you. Oh, nice. Nice play.
Brought the big outfielder's mitt.
Yeah, that is. That's a big trap she's got there.
Now breaking ball gets Johnson to a 2-2 count.
Yeah, I would think the Phillies, given their recent run, I mean, I don't think they can afford to not try to make a move. I'm not saying do something for the sake of doing something, but they're 6 games behind Atlanta, but they're right there. The wild card, they're 3 back.
Upstairs, ball 3. The Astros working the count on Leake today. He's thrown 59 pitches. Not a lot, but they've had him out of the stretch quite a bit. And the innings on Leake will be watched carefully from this point on this year. Bouncer third. Cairo steps on the bag. Goes across to complete a 5-3 double play. Keppinger to second, and that is a big one for the Reds.
Two ways Cairo could have gone here. Could have just gone around the horn for the double play, but he opts to take a couple steps to third and then plant and make that throw across the diamond.
Now Jason Castro has the RBI opportunity. Runner at second and 2 outs. He walked in the second. Phillies just switched hitting coaches. Fired Milt Thompson and brought up Greg Gross from the minor leagues. To left field toward the line. Gomes digging and diving, and he got it. Johnny Gomes with a diving play. A big play for the Reds. He saves at least 1 run by laying out and robbing Castro in left. And it's only 1-0 Houston as Gomes makes the play in left. Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by your Texas Chevy dealers, by AT&T, by your Texas Ford dealers, by 5 Hour Energy, and by Gullo Ford and Gullo Toyota. Very warm day outside, and you look from afar across the parking lot at Minute Maid Park where the Astros and the Cincinnati Reds play, wrapping up this 3-game series. The Astros 1-7 against Cincinnati this year. The Astros 20-28 at home. Here's that controversial play as it turned out.
Did he or didn't he? You make the call. That was so very difficult, but it's hard to imagine with the angle, the way he had his glove turned, to think he could get underneath that ball without it touching a little bit of the ground first. This is a very difficult call. So, I don't know. He's looking at a bunch up here, and I can't tell. Now it's one that some people are saying if there was expanded replay in baseball, Millsy could throw the red flag or whatever however they decided to administer replay. I think if the rule in baseball was the same as football, you'd have to have conclusive evidence to overrule. I don't think you could.
I have to agree with you.
But I don't know, there's no guarantee if they do implement any kind of replay on balls like that, what the ruling would be. Maybe they would say, hey, you open the booth, you got to look at it, you make the call.
1-2 to Cairo, who struck out earlier. Ryan Runge's the third base umpire today. The Astros have not pitched all that well since the All-Star break. They've had 2 quality starts in 8 games. They've gone 3-5 since the break. Today, Wandy's stepping up.
And so is Cairo. He'll step up. He'll go up to chase that high pitch. He didn't last that bat. And I think you got to take a couple more shots here with shoulder high fastballs.
Great numbers for Wandy. A single by Joey Votto, the only hit allowed in the first. Too far up.
Yeah, a little too far.
2-2.
Probably break out Uncle Charlie right here and finish him off with that.
Pretty good finishing pitch for him today.
Fastball away.
And a foul ball. You mentioned the Cardinals play at Chicago tonight. Just checking back, they have that terrific trio of starting pitchers. Carpenter, Wainwright, and Garcia. When their 4 or 5 starters are on the mound this year, their record is 15-20. And since Brad Penny and Kyle Loesch both went out of the rotation, they're 7-12. Their 4th and 5th starters. So if they want to bolster that part of their ball club, they could make a quantum improvement if the other guys continue to pitch the way they have.
Well, and I think Loesch is getting close.
Yeah,
I think he's
right.
Started his rehab.
Homer Bailey is starting a rehab tomorrow night for Cincinnati. He might come back as a reliever. That's the word we're hearing from the Reds. They have some options. There's a leadoff walk. He lost Cairo after being in front of him, and that's the second walk for Rodriguez.
He did take a couple more shots with a high fastball, but just not close enough to tempt him.
Dusty Baker's also watching the results of Aroldis Chapman, the Cuban-born lefty, who's now a reliever at AAA Louisville, and he's pitched in back-to-back games for the first time recently. He could be an option in their bullpen for later on.
It's always nice to have a lefty that can throw 100 miles an hour. Don't shake a tree and find too many of those.
Drew Stubbs looks at strike one. According to one report, Stubbs was kind of faltering at the plate earlier this season, and Gary Matthews Jr. was playing at Louisville. Matthews was seen by some as an option in case Stubbs couldn't hold on to his starting job, but Stubbs turned it around, and that's when Matthews stayed at Louisville and decided to become a free agent. No balls, 2 strikes. And Stubbs has struck out 100 times this year, but he's done other things well. 13 homers, 9 doubles, 4 triples for Stubbs. Good defensive play.
Yeah, well, the challenge for him now, he's going to have to make some adjustments because he's kind of sneaking up on the league. He's a dangerous hitter. He's got 13 home runs, and he's got good speed, so he's got a lot of tools. The guy that swings and misses that much, the longer he plays, the more they're going to be able to exploit that.
And that's a ball strikeout. That's number 5 for Wandy.
Well, if you're thinking about that slow curveball, and then Wandy comes with that heater right there, very difficult to pull the trigger.
Well located. Now Ryan Hannigan, he lined to Berkman. 5 strikeouts for Wandy, 1 hit allowed, 2 walks on his pitching line so far. Now the Reds shut out the Astros last night. That's the 11th time the Astros have been blanked. The Reds also have been blanked 11 times this year, which is surprising considering their offensive numbers. Rain delay in New York. The Yankees lead 5-3 over Kansas City after 5. The game is official. Curtis Granderson has hit his 8th and 9th homers. 2-0. Scott Sednick and Rick Ankiel have both belted their 4th for the Royals in that game. It'll be an interesting week coming up with the trade deadline for non-waiver trades Saturday afternoon, JD.
Yeah, this is always an interesting time of year for baseball fans. A hubbub. And in fact, we haven't invented a trade rumor yet. We need to do that. All right. Throw one out there. Kind of just make something up, and then, 3 or 4 days later you read about it in the paper.
Jason Worth to Tampa Bay for a relief pitcher.
That's not made up. You already went there.
Okay. All right. So something we haven't even read anything about.
Yeah. Like, the Rangers in their financial distress have to trade Josh Hamilton. Let's see if that shows up somewhere.
Let's see. The Rangers trade their entire holdings for Berkshire Hathaway.
And they did. Nolan testified, I guess it was last week or a few days ago, and Ron Washington testified in the bankruptcy proceedings up there. And I think that was one of the points they made, that they're worried that they might not be able to retain Josh Hamilton moving forward if they don't get things straightened out.
Certainly the bankruptcy judge assured them that they will be allowed flexibility to operate. And apparently he's a Rangers fan. So don't worry, I'm not going to cost you anything in terms of competitiveness here. Two balls and a strike for Wandy Rodriguez. Runner going, and that's jacked to left center field. Long run for Michael Bourne, and he gets there for a catch. And now retouching second base on the way back. Cairo back to first in time. And he really had to scoot, and he had rounded second, so he had to retouch on the way back to first.
A nice play by Michael Bourne out there. Not that we're surprised by that. You see it in the air out there with that kind of fight on it. You think, Michael's going to run it down, and you hate to take a man for granted. And just great base running by Cairo. Knew exactly how far he could go and still be able to scramble back. So he gives himself a chance to score if the ball is not caught, and then able to scramble back after the catch is made.
Good quick relay throw, too, from Hernandez, and he did show those good base running skills. Cairo to first now with 2 outs for Mike Leake. He takes a curve as strike one to Leake. Leake struck out in the 3rd inning, but he worked the count full and put up a battle. He got hits in his first 2 major league at bats. The last Reds pitcher to do that, and his debut was Benny Fry in 1929 against the Phillies.
Oh yeah, Benny Fry.
Yeah.
Outstanding hitting pitcher.
Was he?
Oh yeah.
Florida leads Atlanta 4-3. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning at Florida. Eric Hinsky hit his 8th for the Braves. Leake takes ball 2, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Tampa Bay 4, Cleveland 2. They've played 7 in Cleveland. The Rays finally broke that string of 18 consecutive losses at Progressive Field, which was regressive for their pennant chances. Foul back, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, but the Rays still looking very good. A wild card race, if not in the Eastern Division of the American League, where they trail the Yankees by 3. Tampa Bay 20 games over 500. 2-2 to Leake. Phillips on deck.
Yeah, we saw both Tampa and New York this year, and I still like Tampa's club better.
Yeah.
I mean, Yankees are a really good team. Don't get me wrong.
Bounce to second base. Keppinger lays back. Leake really hustling. Wow, that's impressive. Pitcher ran all out, and it's out number 3. Middle of the 5th inning. 1-0 Astros. In at 42-59, while Corpus with a really rough start here in the second half, 7-21. Jack Shuck is hitting .302. Lancaster 6 games under. Lexington 15-14. Jose Altuve 405 in July. Tri-City 13-21. Greenville 16-16. Wandy Rodriguez leads it off, home 5th inning, 1-0 Astros against Mike Leake. Ran hard to first base on his ground out. There's ball 1. Wandy grounded out with 2 men on to win the Astros' second inning. Just looking at the Astros minor league notes, 1-1. Lefty starter Dallas Keuchel has been promoted to AA Corpus Christi from Lancaster. Big cut there, makes it 1-2. He made his debut with the hooks last night, gave up 3 runs in 5 2/3 innings.
I think any kind of move for a pitcher out of Lancaster is a good thing.
You know it. And he's been very competitive there. That's a tough place to pitch. He blows out a lot. Strikeout number 2 for Leake. Now Michael Bourne bats. He is singled twice. Line drive to right field and an infield hit off the pitcher's glove.
Cairo creeps in at third base. Votto tightens up at first.
Bourne shows bunt, and it's ball 1. Now Leake falls behind him. 2 balls, no strikes. The Reds have recently signed Jason Isringhausen, and he, we understand, is throwing very well in the minor leagues right now. They also signed Russ Springer.
Wow, that's Mike Leake. He just threw a 2-0 changeup to Michael Bourne. It's a beauty of a pitch. I mean, if you're Michael Bourne and you can't sit on a fastball 2-0, I mean, who can? In what situation? That gives you an idea how tough it is to hit against a guy like Leake. Any pitch in any count.
He looks very quickly and gets that one on a foul tip in there for strike 2. Colorado leads in Philadelphia 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jeff Francis on the mound.
Well, things are going south for Ubaldo Jimenez here lately.
South in a hurry. Yeah. He's headed for Brazil at this pace. He really got racked around yesterday. Bourne strikes out. 3 strikeouts now for Leake.
And comes back with the changeup. Same pitching through on 2-0. He throws here 3 balls, 2 strikes. Looks just like his fastball coming out of his hand. Similar downward movement, but about 8 miles an hour slower.
Hernandez tries to bunt his way on, but missed. Strike 1 to Anderson, who's 0 for 2. Not a bad thought at this stage, but that pitch had a sharp downward break on it.
I don't like the 2-out bunt unless you're going to steal second base.
Tap to second. Brandon Phillips takes care of out number 3. And in the 5th, it's 1-2-3 for Leake and a 1-0 lead for Houston. Time for one of the best plays of the day. Foul ball, Chris Johnson. Then Slady, with the outfielder's glove, is able to pick up the one hopper with quick reaction and save somebody a bump on the head. The Coors Light Freeze Cam is brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light. Fantastic play.
I want her sitting next to me.
Yeah. Cotton candy time for the youngster as the Reds come up in the 6th inning, trailing the Astros 1-0. Top of the order, Brandon Phillips. Curveball works for strike 1 for Wandy. Phillips is 0 for 2 in this game. The Reds have had a 2-out single in the 1st inning. That's their only hit. Toronto and Detroit are tied 3-3 after 8. Tigers just got a run in the bottom half. No balls, 2 strikes. Vernon Wells hit his 20th home run for the Blue Jays. Tigers are without Maglio Ordonez now for weeks.
Carlos Guillen on the disabled list as well.
Ooh.
And isn't Brandon Inge banged up too?
Yes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dave Dombrowski has a week to try to fix it if he wants to try to make a deal. These deals can be made after the deadline Saturday, but they require players passing through waivers. That's a lot tougher to do. Detroit's 2.5 behind the White Sox in the Central Division of the American League. It's 2-2. Adrian Gonzalez hit his 21st home run for San Diego, which leads 6-3 at Pittsburgh in the 7th. Chris DeNorfia hit number 6. Here's the comparison of these 2 starting pitchers today. And on the curve, Phillips swings and misses. That's strikeout number 6 for Wandy Rodriguez.
5 swinging and 1 looking. Stubbs took a fastball and he was probably looking for a curveball. And again, that curveball, one of the best in the game.
Now Cabrera with 1 out. He is 0 for 2. A pop to first and a strikeout. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, the Reds entered the second half of the season with the easiest remaining schedule in the major leagues. Ground ball, backhanded. Anderson Hernandez throwing from the grass, gets something on it. 2 outs.
He is a big league glove man, no doubt about it. He can really play both short and second base. Nice backhanded play here. Soft hands and then a big strong throw.
Well done for the second out. Now Joey Votto. He singled to center on a 2-2 count, then he grounded out. Strike 1 to Votto.
He's good for 1 bad hack and at bat.
Yeah.
And then he hit a line drive somewhere.
Sure has been today.
Does that a lot, man. That last series, he had some real funky swings, but at the end of the day, ends up with good results.
Fouls that one away, and it's no balls, 2 strikes to Votto.
What a lot of good hitters will do, they'll go up there guessing early. And, you know, I'm going to look for a certain pitch early in the count, and if they're guessing and they guess wrong, they look silly, and then they'll okay, I'm not going to cheat. I'm just going to see the ball and try to react to it. Play that guessing game early when you've got 3 strikes to play with.
Yeah.
Let me see. The Reds here today. Then they go to Milwaukee. So there's 3 with Pittsburgh. Some with Arizona. 3 more with Pittsburgh. 3 more. 4 with Arizona. 3 with us. Yeah, they do have a relatively soft schedule. You never know how it's going to play out.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The composition of some of these teams, of course, will be changing if there are major deals made here in the next week. Some of the weak teams might even be getting weaker if they're trading veterans for prospects. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some of the strong teams could be getting stronger. You guys are enjoying the day. Kids run the bases after the game on Sundays. Ground ball, Berkman. Votto smacks the bat down, and Wandy has a 1-2-3 6th inning. It is a very happy day for a lot of folks watching the Astros leading 1-0 in the 6th. Our Energy Insights brought to you by Center Point Energy. Hunter Pence's solo, the only home run, the only run of this game. His second homer of the series. Wandy Rodriguez has allowed the Reds just one hit. Mike Leake has allowed 4 hits in a run, striking out 3. He faces Lance Berkman in the home 6th inning. Lance over 2 groundouts to the right side. This time a fly ball left. And Gomes is there, 1 out. Our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast was provided in the 2nd inning on a 2-1 count to Hunter Pence.
4-hit game here Friday night, including a home run. Had a knock at 4 trips yesterday and got off to a great start this afternoon. Rocking that solo shot into the Crawford boxes. The only run of the ball game on either side. Reds with just a 1-base hit through 6.
Hunter's hitting better than 400 against Reds pitching. In tied for ball 1. Minnesota's blasting Baltimore at Camden Yards 9-1. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jim Thome hit his 12th. Jason Kubel number 12. Delman Young 13. 1 ball, 1 strike. Leake did not taste defeat in the major leagues until his 13th start. That was against the Dodgers back on the 16th of June. Gave up 5 runs in 6 innings in that game. 1-2. That's the only game he has lost of his 18 major league starts. He leads all National League rookies in innings pitched. Best start by a Reds rookie since Wayne Simpson, who was 13-1 in 1970. That was when it really became known as the Big Red Machine. That club rolled to a 70-30 start that year. Simpson a big component, but then he came down with arm problems in the second half. Back to Leake. 2 outs. We go to Patty Smith.
Well, the Astros have extended Price Matter Days presented by HEB. Now available every Sunday through Thursday home games. You get a View Deck 2 ticket, hot dog, HEB chips, and a soda, all for just $10. Or upgrade to a field level bullpen box seat for just $10 more. Visit Astros.com today, Bill.
Thanks, Patty. 1-0 Astros. Carlos Lee has one of the 4 Houston hits, a leadoff double in the 4th. To right field. There's ball 1 to El Caballo. Reds are 11-7 in Leake's 18 starts. 6 of those 7 losses came in the opponent's final at bat. 3 in extra innings, 3 walk-off losses. The Reds are the first team in Major League history to lose 2 games in a single season in which they led by 6 runs or more entering the bottom of the 9th. And Leake started both of those.
It's just got bad karma.
2-1. Dusty Baker's club has provided a lot of late inning heroics, but also has been victimized by some. To right field again. Izey catches this one, and it's a 1-2-3 6th. That's 8 in a row set down by Leake to keep it close. 1-0 Houston through 6. Was among those watching when he connected back in the second inning for the only run in this game. So not much scoring. Very well pitched. Rodriguez versus Leake, and a lot to be decided here in the next 3 innings. We have Jim Connors at the organ every Sunday here at Minute Maid Farm.
Good work, Jim. Now the nature of the game changes a little bit for the pitchers. Now, as opposed to, it shouldn't, but typically it does. You get in the 7th inning of a tight game like this, and you get a little wary sometimes. One pitch could be the difference. You have to kind of brush that aside and stay with your game plan. Stay aggressive if the situation calls for aggressive.
Johnny Gomes has a 1-1 count. He is grounded out and walked. Jason Castro and Wandy Rodriguez have worked very well together. Wandy 4-1 in his last 5 starts with a 2.81 ERA. Michael Bourne backing in center field. 1 out. 7 straight retired by Rodriguez. Earlier he retired 9 in a row. 99 pitches. On the all-time strikeout list, he's moving up closer to Mike Hampton, who's number 2 in Astros strikeouts by a left-handed pitcher. Bob Knepper is the all-time leader. He has a couple hundred more than Wandy. Chris Heisey's 0 for 2. As he looks at ball 1. Milwaukee leads 5-0 over Washington, bottom of the 5th inning at Miller Park. Dave Bush pitching to Dandy, giving up 1 hit, no walks, 7 strikeouts in 5. 1-1. Ross Detweiler started for the Nats. Ricky Weeks hit his 20th home run off Detweiler in the 4th inning. Wilton Lopez is working in the Houston bullpen. Curveball's tapped into the ground, and it's 1-2. Wandy's spot would come up 4th in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Ricky Weeks, kind of like Brandon Phillips here, bringing a lot of stock to that leadoff spot in the batting order.
Big year. Ground ball, short hop play by Johnson. Well done by Chris for the second out.
Yeah, get the feet moving, come in on that ball, and handle the short hop. If you lay back, you're at the mercy of the hop, and you probably have a lot more difficult play to make.
Reds are enjoying being in the air conditioning. They've been in some hot places lately. Their ballpark can be a warm one this time of year. Miguel Cairo struck out and he walked. As a road team, they've played 2 games over 500 this season, 24-22.
Yeah, and you're talking about their remaining schedule, and I think the fact that they have played well on the road. There's only 3 teams in the National League with winning records on the road: the Reds, the Padres, and the Giants. They've been good at home, capable of winning on the road. They can beat you to death with a long ball, but they can also manufacture runs with some speed.
Strike to Cairo, 1-1 to Miguel. In a rain delay now in Philly with Colorado leading 3-2, bottom of the 6th inning. Foul, and it's a 1-ball 2-strike count to Cairo.
We were talking earlier about the trade deadline coming up and whether the Reds would be shopping or not. And obviously, you get to the position they're in, you're always looking to upgrade your club. But they're not the New York Yankees. They can't afford to dump frontline prospects for a veteran bat or a veteran arm without having serious repercussions down the road. And that's the challenge that Walt Jocketty has. The challenges most general managers have. When you have limited revenue streams, you try to better your club, but you can't give up those frontline prospects, or you do it at your peril. The Yankees can afford to do it. I mean, they'd rather not do it either, but they can afford to do it because if they got a hole, well, we'll just go out and sign Mark Teixeira or A.J. Burnett or C.C. Sabathia, on and on to go.
Cairo fouls another one. Still 1-2. Yankees thought to be interested in Dan Herron of Arizona. You know, next week this time it's going to be a totally different day for us without all this trade speculation.
Well, then we'll have another couple of weeks to analyze the trades. Then we'll start talking about the deals that could still go on after guys clear waivers.
Fastball struck him out. That's number 7 for Wandy. He's retired 9 in a row, and he leads it 1-0. And now the fans will. And Mike Leake stays in the bottom of the 7th, facing Jeff Keppinger, who has walked twice. With a breaking pitch, catches the corner. There's strike 1. The Astros preparing to pinch hit for Wandy Rodriguez if somebody gets on base. Leake goes to a 1-1 count on Keppinger, with Chris Johnson on deck and Jason Castro due up 3rd. Toronto beat Detroit 5-3 in Detroit. 2-1 to Keppinger. Scott Downs the winner, Jose Valverde the loser. Kevin Gregg got his 23rd save. Valverde's had an all-star year, an outstanding year, but today Toronto got 2 in the 9th to win at 5-3. $25,705 that paid attendance here at Minute Maid Park today. Grounded in the hole, diving. The third baseman Cairo couldn't get it, but Cabrera did. Tremendous play.
Wow. Second play he's made like that in this series. I didn't think there was any chance he was going to make the play from out there. No argument from Meacham or Keppinger. Now let's take a look. Orlando Cabrera on the backhand. The jump throw. Man. Big time play.
It was. Amazing he could get that much on that throw.
Yeah.
And now Chris Johnson, deep drive left field toward the Landers. Crawford bounces. 2-0 Houston. 9-game hitting streak for Johnson. That's home run number 3.
Oh, the sweet sound of insurance when that ball jumped off that bat. There was no doubt about it. Whack. Talk about it when Hunter hit his. Mike Lee had come into this game having allowed just 2 home runs to right-handed batters this year. The Astros 2 today, Pence and now Johnson.
Now Jason Castro's the batter. Taking ball 1. Jason Michaels comes out to the on-deck circle to pinch hit for Wandy Rodriguez with the bullpen busy. Castro hit a fly ball to left. And this one, base hit to right center, a looping single for Castro. He was robbed last time up by Gomes. First time the Astros have put together back-to-back hits today.
Let's see. And very similar to the Pence home run in that they're trying to go away. The Hunter, the ball drifted over the middle. This ball looked like it was middle in. And CJ able to turn on it.
Arthur Rhodes is warming up for the Reds as Brian Price arrives at the mound, and it's Brandon Lyon warming up in the Houston bullpen. Michaels has been announced as the pinch hitter for Rodriguez, who was marvelous today. 7 innings of 1-hit shutout ball against the best offense in the National League. He only hit a 2-out single in the first from Joey Votto. 2 walks and 7 strikeouts for Wandy Rodriguez. In line for win number 8 of the year. 91 pitches for Mike Leake. 23 coming in the second inning when Pence homered and he walked 2. CJ's home run giving him 17 runs batted in and making it 2-0 with Michaels pinch hitting now for Rodriguez.
Now Wandy continues this real nice run. Last 5 or 6 starts he's been very good. 4-1 with a 2.81 ERA. In his last 5, and those numbers obviously improved with his work here this afternoon.
Michaels took the breaking ball. J. Mike with 5 pinch hits and 32 at bats, including a pinch homer. And he smacks one to left field. Gomes back off the big scoreboard wall. Castro to third. Pinch double for Michaels. 6th pinch hit of the year for J. Mike. And double number 6.
He's been on a real nice roll himself of late. It started before the All-Star break, and then the hope was he could keep it rolling after the break, and he has done that. Just very simple approach at the plate, really quiet with the lower body, and just trusts his quick hands and delivering one line drive after another. Not a whole lot going on in that swing, just a small little step. Loads up and then unloads.
Jay Brooks is running out to right field, replacing Chris Heisey, who made the second out in the top of the inning, and a double switch coming up here for Dusty Baker. And in this 2-0 ball game, Dusty takes Mike Leake out after another excellent day, and slaps his leg, saying, "Hey, great job, man." This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Verizon Wireless. And Leake, who's lost only once as a major leaguer, turn the ball over to the relievers, and it's the Arthur Rhodes coming in and us stepping out. one out, and runners at second and third. Mike Leake with another outstanding day. Walk 3, fan 3, kept his club right in the game. Those are his numbers to the moment, but the 2 runners on base can be counted as far as earned runs, depending on what happens here with Michael Bourne.
Yeah, and it's an interesting pitching change here. You go from the 22-year-old Mike Leake to the 40-year-old Arthur Rhodes, a veteran left-hander, 19 years in the big leagues. He made the All-Star team this year for the first time ever. So good early in the year. Overall, the numbers still outstanding. 3-3, .62 ERA.
Infielders are moving in. Bourne is 2 for 3. Michael takes ball 1 up. Chance for Michael here to come through against a tough lefty in Rhodes. Rhodes had 33 consecutive scoreless appearances earlier this year. That evens the count at 1-1. And that tied a major league record. He did not give up a run from April 10th to June 29th. And here's a guy who's come back from Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, I would think the Astros would have the contact play on here. And what that means is as soon as the ball's put in play on the ground, the Astros don't. And it forces the Reds to make a play at home. Because even if they throw him out, Michaels is on third and Bourne's on first, so he could steal second base, so you'd end up with pretty much a push.
Now 3-1 for Rhodes. Rhodes came in with a 6-4 lead in the 8th inning, and the bases loaded Friday night. Retired pinch hitter Anderson Hernandez to get out of trouble. Bourne looks at strike 2, and it's a full count.
It's pretty much fastball slider. Slider can be a real tough pitch for the left-handed hitters. Among active pitchers, he is among the leaders in innings worked.
And line drive, left field line into the corner. Scoring Castro and Michaels. 2-run double for Bourne, and it's 4-0 Houston. Third hit of the game for Michael Bourne. That's his 19th double, giving him 24 runs batted in.
Now the Reds have a lot of firepower, but that should be enough right there. Big swing of the bat by Michael Bourne to drive in 2 more. 4-0 lead with 6 outs to go. Should be able to put this one in the bank. Great swing. Good battle hanging in there against the tough lefty. The Reds aren't careful. Michael Bourne will steal third base on him here, too.
Michael was hitting 190 against left-handed pitching coming into this game. Now the switch hitter Hernandez turns around about right, and there's ball 1 to him. Hernandez had a ground out against Rhodes Friday night in that bases loaded pinch hit situation. Berkman on deck. 2 balls, no strikes. Special moment this year for Arthur Rhodes, making his first All-Star team and remembering his 5-year-old son named Jordan who passed away. Scratches his initials in the dirt. The boy died a couple of years ago. Outside the right field line and back out of play makes it 2-1. And he has been a major ingredient in this Reds bullpen this year, directed by Francisco Cordero. Pitched 3 times against the Astros before today without being charged with a run. Those 2 runs he allowed were charged to Leake. Bouncer over the mound, backhanded. Phillips took a look at third, and he threw to first base. Bourne to third base, 2 outs. Now it's Berkman. Lance 0 for 3 in this game. Astros have out-hit the Reds 8-1. Little Puma's waiting. And the Sunday crowd has watched a pitching duel here until now, the 7th inning. The Astros opening up some space. Workman in the air, and the left fielder moves in, but it's hanging on the infield, and Cabrera, the shortstop, has it. Johnson homered to make it 2-0. Castro with a single. Michaels a pinch double. Michael Bourne a 2-run double to make it 4-0 Houston.
Westheimer Parkway. And there you can sign up to be the ultimate Whataburger Whata fan. You have a chance to win 2 sweet tickets for the Astros-Cubs game on October 2nd. And the Whataburger for a year. You'll be on the field for batting practice, and you get to throw out a first pitch. So all kinds of good things going on there. Become the ultimate Whataburger Whata fan. Meet Jeff Keppinger. And perhaps share a burger with him.
Yeah. Now Brandon Lyon leads the club with 44 appearances. He's 6-4 with 17 holds and a 3.80 ERA. Drew Stubbs facing him. Strike one as inning number 8 gets underway. Stubbs has hit a fly ball to right and has struck out looking. Brilliant day for Wandy Rodriguez, holding down this Reds club to 1 hit over 7 innings. And that was a single in the first by Joey Votto. He walked 2 and he fanned 7.
Yeah, it was on quite a roll there as he finished 9 in a row. After the leadoff walk to Cairo in the 5th. Very excited.
Lyon almost got a swing from Stubbs. It goes as ball 1. 1-2. And Hannigan on deck. The pitcher spot is due up. Not third because Jay Bruce came in a double switch, and he is in the 9 spot.
Not many balls hit hard at all today by the Cincinnati Reds. Their base hit by Votto, just a little flip single. Watch the coconut there, Drew. A little single by Votto back in the 1st inning. Hannigan hit the ball hard. His first at bat in the 3rd, hit a line drive to Lance Berkman. Wanting complete control of this ball game. Love the reaction of the fans behind home plate on that one.
Yeah. Now reaching, he fouls it. Lyon last pitched on Wednesday in Chicago. He got the win in the 4-3 12 inning game. And through 42 pitches, he struggled. Only 20 of those were strikes. He gave up 2 hits, walked 3, but still put up a couple of zeros, and the Astros won it. Breaking pitch low and on appeal. He swung. Hunter Wendelstedt with a call. Strikeout number 8 for Astros pitcher.
Talked about Stubbs' proclivity to strike out earlier. That's 102 for him this year now.
AT&T trivia. Who were the first 5 players inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1936? Let's see. Babe Ruth. Ty Cobb. Walter Johnson.
Sounds right. Honest Wagner.
Yeah. Need a 5th.
Christy Mathewson.
Cy Young. Who says? Go with those 5.
We got 6. We got 6 on the board.
Line drive to right by Hannigan and a hit in front of Hunter Pence.
I'm not going to dispute Boots.
No.
Boots says Cy Young, then by golly, we'll go with Cy Young.
All right, let's see who they were. AT&T has the answer as Jay Bruce comes up to hit. Cobb, Johnson, Mathewson, Ruth, and Wagner.
Should have stayed with my first guess.
Yeah, you had it. We'll go ahead.
Come on, Boots, you're killing me.
We'll go ahead and take credit for that. Cy Young didn't make the.
He was terrible.
Boy. That's what you get for winning 500 games, huh? Now Bruce up for the first time. And there's strike 1.
When they first opened that Hall of Fame, they had to. I guess they couldn't put all the old timers in right away. There's Boots right there. There's the man.
This man is responsible for us missing that.
They couldn't put everybody in that first year. They had to spread it out a little bit, right?
Yeah. Bruce with the 1-hopper. Berkman goes low, and Anderson Hernandez got the out. No double play. On the low throw, Hernandez dug it out to force Hannigan 2 outs.
Yeah, it looked like Lance just didn't get a real good grip on this ball. He wanted to get rid of it in a hurry to give Anderson Hernandez a chance to turn the double play. And again, the good hands of Hernandez paying off there. And you can see just a little bit of a hesitation trying to get it out of his glove. Never got a good grip on it. Better to spike it than to sail it over his head.
Yes, sir. Brandon Phillips is 0 for 3. Bouncer up the middle. Hernandez. Good short hop play, and he got him. No runs, a hit. A man stranded. Middle of the 8th inning. 4-0 Astros.
League baseball programs, visit ChevyTexasBaseball.com. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Kids having a great time today from Tomball and all points around. And they've seen the Astros build a 4-0 lead with a Pence homer in the second, with 3 in the seventh, including a Johnson homer. 2-run double by Bourne. Michaels had 3 hits. Family day. The Astros got a chance to get the kids and families out on the field before the game. Now they're coming up in the 8th inning against Nick Massett, veteran right-hander. Arthur Rhodes in 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, no runs. No walks, no strikeouts. We see Massett's season with 50 appearances, JD.
Yeah, big hard-throwing right-hander. Worked in game 1 of the series. He's 3-3 with a 4.67 ERA. A little bit inconsistent with his control.
Hunter Pence went for the first pitch, fouled at strike 1. He's 1 for 3. That homer in the second. Mike Leake at 6 1/3 gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, walking 3, fanning 3. It's 1-1. Massett's among the league leaders in appearances with 50. Last 7 have been scoreless for him. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. They're still in a rain delay. The Yankees leading Kansas City 5-3 after 5 at Yankee Stadium. Pence strikes out on a high heater. 1 out.
Massett certainly has the ability to climb the ladder with that 4-seam fastball. That went 95 miles an hour. Comes on the heels of a good curveball.
Carlos Lee's been hitting the ball to right field today, all 3 times. He got a double to right in the 4th. This one, the 1 hopper to shortstop. Cabrera, 2 outs. And Keppinger has walked twice and hit a ground ball to 3rd, and Cairo made an excellent play on that one. Atlanta and Florida are in the bottom of the 10th. At Florida, it's tied 4-4. Still a rain delay in Philly, so the rain is socked in the eastern seaboard. 3-2 Colorado, bottom of the 6th.
They need a little relief back east. It's been awfully hot, 100 degrees.
Another rain delay in Baltimore. Minnesota 9-1 over Baltimore. A shot into left field, and Kepinger's had quite a day, reaching for the 3rd time now, and that play by Cairo on him in the 7th would have made it up for us.
So yeah, family day. Players, staff allowed to come out on the field and just kind of goof around with the kiddos. Swing.
Oh no. Carlos, we were told, took a pounding from his kids.
I was watching Brett Myers' kid hit a little bit. Boy, he's got a good swing, the little guy.
Strike to CJ. He homered in the 7th. He's 1 for 3. A good stretch for him with this 9-game hitting streak. We'll try the Cubs tomorrow night with it. Runner goes foul. Wesley Wright and Carlos Silva tomorrow night at 7:05. Tuesday night it's Brett Myers and Ted Lilly at 7:05. Wednesday a day game at 1:05 for Bud Norris and Randy Wells.
Back. Just, you got to stay sharp, Brownie. You never know when you're going to be called upon to coach a little first base.
Well, you might be, and your head is still in the game.
Get a little more. Get a little more.
He's going. Throw from Hannigan. Sails high, and a stolen base for Keppinger. His 3rd of the year.
I don't really think of Kemp as a base stealer, but He's feeling it today. Got a nice break. Breaking pitch helps his cause, as does the errant throw. Phillips has got some ups.
Yeah, he slid under the splits of Phillips. He had some Michael Jordan type hang time on that. And it's 1-2 to Johnson, who fouls it back. White Sox got a run in the first at Oakland. San Diego leads at Pittsburgh 6-3, bottom of the ninth inning. Keith Bell in the game. Got his third steal of the year. Gets him into scoring position. In the Reds' ninth inning, they have their 2-3-4 hitters due up. Cabrera, Votto, Gomes. Swing and a miss. It gets away from Hannigan, and the runners move up on the strikeout. Strikeout, wild pitch. Johnson reaching. Keppinger to third.
It's a swing and miss curveball that Massive possesses, and hard to hit, sometimes hard to catch. Hannigan. He made the mistake of trying to pick that, have his glove turned inwardly, and the ball kicked off his glove away. Would have been better off just squaring up behind that and using his chest protector.
That means Castro bats, and he's 1 for 2 with a walk.
Speaking of blocking balls, I see where Brad Ausmus is back.
Yeah, he played last night for the Dodgers. Came back from back surgery.
First time on the disabled list in his entire career.
That is something. Strike to Castro. They won it last night in extra innings on a Loney homer against the fading Mets, who've lost 8 of 10.
Kind of what they've been this year, though, isn't it? I mean, they lose 8 of 10, then they win 7 in a row.
Yeah.
Very streaky team.
They have been. Now they've gotten some people back. They'd like to put a surge together, but going into today's games, 7.5 behind Atlanta. Milwaukee 5, Washington 2. They've played 6 in Milwaukee. Mets just failed to score in the top of the first at Los Angeles. They have R.A. Dickey pitching. Castro strikes out to end the Astros 8 with no runs a hit. 2 men stranded. Moving to the ninth, it's Astros 4, Reds nothing.
Subscribe to MLB.tv tonight to see every Astros game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Astros.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere, Bill.
Thanks, Patty. We have changes for the Astros now. They take their 4-0 lead to the 9th inning. Jason Bourgeois is the left fielder, taking over there for Carlos Lee. He played a little second base last night. We might be seeing more of that, Brad Mills said. And it's Matt Lindstrom with 22 saves and 26 opportunities. This is not a save situation.
No, if it were a 3-0 ball game, it would be, but it's a 4-0 game. Therefore, no save on the line here for Lindstrom.
Orlando Cabrera leads it off. Where these Reds can score runs, though, you might consider it such if you're pitching against them. And there's strike one. Cabrera's 0 for 3.
First man so important. Let them get a sense in that dugout that they got a chance.
No balls, 2 strikes. Brandon Lyon in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs. He had no walks and 1 strikeout. Joey Votto on deck. Johnny Gomes due up third. San Diego has won 6-3 at Pittsburgh, giving Wade LeBlanc his 5th win against 8 losses.
Wade LeBlanc.
Yeah, that's right. We have to get that right for the Cajuns. Brad Lincoln, the loser. Pete Bell got his 29th save. Cabrera strikes out.
Pitching performance by the Astros here today. Warmby obviously carrying the load for 7 innings. Outstanding shutting down this club. Get the break on that slider. About 3/4 of the way to home plate. So yeah, I think I'm going to change direction.
Well, like Brandon Lyon before, Matt Lindstrom has not pitched in a game since Wednesday at Chicago. Joey Votto's 1 for 3. Cranks that would foul for strike one. Votto got the first hit with 2 outs in the first inning, a single to center, and Hannigan got the second one. Single to right in the 8th. So this high-powered Reds offense, which has been blanked 11 times this year, trying to get something going here. Fastball fouled away, makes it 0-2 to Joey Votto. The Padres posting their win today are looking good at 58-39. They led the Giants by 3 coming into play today in the NL West.
4 losses in a row for the Pirates. They've had 2 or 3 lengthy losing streaks already this year.
Line toward the right field corner. That will be off the wall for Joey Votto, who hustles it to second base with a double.
Man, he can flat out rake. What can he hit?
17th double for Votto.
How about getting that kind of a swing with 2 strikes on you against a guy with Lindstrom stuff? When you're up there just trying to battle. Most guys, I'm up here battling. No, he's just ripping a line drive to right field.
That's hit number 3 for the Reds. Lance Nix comes out to the on-deck circle. Johnny Gomes, the batter. Gomes is 0 for 2 with a walk. The pitcher's spot is coming up next. Tampa Bay dealt Cleveland a 4-2 loss in Cleveland. Wade Davis going to 8-9, beating Justin Masterson. He's 3-9. Fouled away strike one. Rafael Soriano got his 26th save, and Reed Brignac hit his 6th home run. The Astros have pitched 3 shutouts this season. Now Rodriguez, Lyon, and Lindstrom can combine on number 4. And it's strike 2 to Gomes. Lindstrom's been in a good spot.
He really gets on top of this slider. Watch the downward movement at the end.
Last 7 outings, he has not given up a run. Fly ball heads for Hunter Pence in right center. 2 outs. And now we get the pinch hitter Lance Nix batting for the pitcher. Nick Massett in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs. He had no walks and he struck out 3. Nix had the big night last night off Roy Oswalt. He wound up with 2 of his 3 hits off Roy. A pair of doubles. He drove in 2, going 3 for 3 with a walk. 212 is his pinch hit average this season.
I'm guessing he wins the team arm wrestling competition.
Oh, look at those forearms. Upper arms. Ridiculous. That is strike 1 of the 29-year-old Lance Nix from Houston. Went to Midland High School. Has a younger brother Jason in the major leagues. Drafted by Texas in 2000. Taps it foul, and it's 0-2 to Lance Nix. Lindstrom on Wednesday threw 37 pitches in his inning and 2/3 against the Cubs. The Astros shut out the Pirates here July 8th on Roy Oswalt's one-hitter. The other 2 shutouts came on the road, one in Cincinnati in the 10th. Mike Leake started that game. Paulino started. And this shutout gives the Astros a win to win this series. Nick striking out as Rodriguez, Lyon, and Lindstrom combine on a gem of a 3-hitter. And they stop the first-place Reds with solid pitching.
Lindstrom finishes Nix off with that letter-high fastball. Yeah, how about 10 punch-outs, 2 walks, 3 hits allowed. Outstanding work.
Rodriguez goes to 8-11, beating Leake, who's 7-2. And the Astros win for the first time in 6 tries at home against the Reds this season. Final Houston 4, Cincinnati 0.